Annie Murphy, and I'm the director of the Framingham History Center, and I want to welcome you all to Mayo-Collins Square and our celebration of 100 years since the adoption of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution. We are here to honor two Framingham women, Louise Mayo and Josephine Collins, who were jailed for their protests to gain women the vote.
As we celebrate, let us also recognize that the fight for true equality and access to the ballot are very much a part of our lives still today. From our positions of relative privilege and power, the sacrifices that the suffragettes made can seem like ancient history. But Josephine Collins died in 1961. That flips me out because it was after I was born.
Louise Parker Mayo and Josephine Collins and countless other grassroots suffragists from across this nation were willing to interrupt their everyday lives and take the extraordinary step of putting their freedom on the line to challenge a government that denied them and all other American women the right to vote. Mayo marched in front of the White House in the famous Bastille Day demonstration of 1917 and was arrested with 15 others for this act of defiance. She refused to pay the $25 fine and was sent to the infamous Occoquan workhouse, where National Women's Party leaders would later endure beatings and forced feedings during their time behind bars. President Wilson was probably embarrassed, as well he should have been, by the arrest of ordinary American women peacefully demonstrating for equal rights. He hastily issued pardons. Collins became active on the local suffrage scene and also at the state level in her role as secretary of the Massachusetts branch of the National Women's Party. In February 1919, when President Wilson came to Boston on his way home from his peacemaking efforts in France, she signed on to participate in a mass meeting to be held on the Common to protest his lukewarm endorsement of the suffrage amendment. The Women's Party argued that he would have a much better chance of achieving his goal of spreading democracy throughout the world if he paid a little more attention to it here at home. Josephine Collins and 21 others gathered near the State House to make their case on February 24th, but were ordered by Boston police officers to disperse for fear they would disgrace the city. When they refused, 16 of them were hauled off to Charles Street Jail. Collins carried a sign that read, "Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty?" In all, about 500 women were arrested during the demonstrations in D.C. and Boston, but only 167 actually served prison sentences, among them Mayo and Collins, who were awarded the commemorative jailhouse door pins by Alice Paul and the National Women's Party for their heroism and their sacrifice.
100 years ago, the right to vote was for some women. And women of color, men of color, did not get a chance to vote until August 6, 1965. So, doing the math, when I was born, my parents did not have the right to vote in this country. And to see what has happened since that time, we've made a lot of progress with voting, but we've also taken some steps back. And it's so imperatively important that we continue to fight for that right to vote. And that's the right for any and every one, no matter where you are, to be able to vote without impunity, without fear of being attacked, without fear for your life. We are in some very unprecedented times, and I sometimes hearken back to 100 years ago. Only thing is different is the time. They fought, they were jailed, they were beaten. But we have to say we can do better.